Hey, everybody, welcome to The Rundown with Ramon. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com and host of the USA Today show, The Rundown with Ramon. I'm here with Aytekin Tank, who's the founder of Jotform. And Aytekin, thank you for being with me today. Appreciate your time and all that you bring to the small business world and beyond. So I hope you're well today.
Hey, Ramon. Thank you for having me on your show. Yeah, it's
You're
great.
welcome. You're welcome. So let's dive right into it. First, can you tell people a bit who you are personally and who you are professionally? Yes, you're the founder of Jotform, used by gazillions of people. So please share a little about what Jotform is for those who don't know, but also just give us a little taste of whatever you wish to share personally in your life. Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Neither. Do you drink coffee? Take a few minutes to just share about Jotform and a little bit about yourself personally.
Yeah, sure. I have three kids. So I think that's a really important part of my life.
Yes.
And I also have Jotform. And Jotform is 18 years old. My kids are 9, 7, and 2.
Nice.
So they're much younger. And I started Jotform 18 years ago. Before Jotform, I was working as a programmer for a media company in New York, and I know that you're in Brooklyn as well. And I was actually like, we had like over 100 websites, and they needed help with forms, right? Our editors needed help with forms, like contact forms, surveys, questionnaires. Like, they would run contests, like they would need forms for that to register for contests, things like that. And they needed help from me, and I kind of hated creating forms, right? I wanted to find a product that could automate this for me, like that could just take away this from me, so that I can just deal with more important stuff. But I couldn't find a good product. So that's when I knew that, okay, hey, if I'm gonna go full time, I was doing some products on the side, but if I'm gonna do become an entrepreneur and full time entrepreneur, like start my own company, this would be it. And that's what I did. In 2005, I quit my job, and then I started building Jotform, and I've been doing that since then. And so what's Jotform? Jotform is a form builder, right? It's for the, it's for the small businesses. It's for all kinds of business. It's a very horizontal product. Like, our top customers are healthcare, education, and nonprofit, and small businesses. And the reason the reason everyone uses Jotform is, and we have like 25 million users, is because I think there are like two reasons. The first one is it's free, right? You get like 100 form submissions per month for free. So that's a big reason. And the second reason is it's very flexible. And you can actually, go there and build your own forms, like whatever. And small businesses especially love forms, because like as a small business, like you don't have many resources, right? You don't have time to deal with so many people. So you just create a form and people fill out the form, so that you don't have all those problems, like correcting mistakes, asking the same questions again and again, like making sure that they are giving you the correct data. You can just automate all this stuff using forms. So basically, forms are a way to automate things, automate communication between people. And that's actually why like our top users are education, healthcare, and more nonprofits, because like they have to deal with auto people. In education, like you have students, teachers, parents, everyone. Like you have so many people, and they have so many needs. So what do? You use forms, and because forms can automate things. So I started Jotform as like just to make it easy to create forms, right? That was my goal. But over time, what I discovered was people actually needed more things. Like it wasn't just about the forms. Like you fill out a form, but you have other things after the forms. Someone registered for something. Someone, fills a payment form to pay for something, and when they sign up for something, right, there are next steps. Like maybe you need to approve that person. Maybe they need to, like, you need to create an email and send it to them. Maybe you need to like create a document, auto-generate a document. Maybe you need to send them an e-signature. So we started also building all these additional products after the form as well. So that's why Jotform is like not just about forms, but also about all the additional things that people might need, and they're also all free. So you can just use them for free. And when you actually have a lot of usage, that's when you start paying, and that's been great for us. And I bootstrap Jotform, like just me. 100% owner, still the same way. I still do the same. And when I started Jotform, I was in the US, but then as a bootstrapper, I wanted to like lower my like really.
Sure.
And I'm from Turkey, so I
Those
was.
Manhattan rents were getting too high.
Oh yeah. And like just I was in actually like Brooklyn,
Sure, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Cobble Hills, right
Yeah. Yeah.
around that area. And just okay, I'm just gonna go back, move in with my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was like very like the company was very small, so I
Mm-hmm.
went back to Turkey, and I lived there for a long time. And today, Jotform has offices in like San Francisco. Like a big part of our team is in San Francisco, and R&D is like more. Our programmers, our developers, our technical people are mostly in Turkey. So I'm still like going back and forth. Uh, but I mainly live in Turkey
Mm-hmm.
most of the time these days because I'm more involved with the product.
Sure.
So in the US we have like the marketing and sales mostly, and Turkey is more about R&D. And I'm just I prefer being involved in the technical side. I just spend more time in Turkey. So as I mentioned, I have 3 kids, and
And I have 2 kids, by the way.
that's actually enough. Like that's just like a full-time job.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I have 2 kids. My daughter just got married about 3 weeks
Mhm.
ago. So
Yeah, wow, congratulations.
thank you
Nice.
very much. Thank you. No, this is amazing, Aytekin. And again, thank you for being with us today. I guess my follow-up question would be for you. I have so many questions, but you've been building Jotform for about 20 years. One of my good friends, his name is Lamar Tyler. I hope you meet him one day. He has an amazing community. And he said, I asked him, he said one key part of his success was consistency. Besides the hiring and funnels and ads and all the stuff that we may get into today. But what do you think, what caused you to be here for 20 years doing it? Because you could have 5 years through it. This is pretty good. I'm going to sell it, or let me do something else. Can you just talk about, maybe as you think about the milestones, like, did you ever think, you know what, it's been 7 years now, let me build coffee cups? I don't know. Talk about that if you understand what I'm trying to ask,
Yeah. So I think one of the reasons like entrepreneurs, they want to kind of like exit or just do something else is because maybe things are not working out well in their business. Like because they have a problem, like it's kind of an escape. Like you can just escape it. But if you can actually keep it sane, like solve all those problems, it's actually you can enjoy your business, right? You don't have to do an exit. And if you're in each for like building a new product, right? That's actually what I do. Like I keep building new products for our customers, right? Like right now we are building this AI product. And it's very exciting. It's just so exciting
I can hear it in
to
your
build an
voice.
AI product.
It sounds
And
exciting.
our users actually need it. Like just like we were like we were seeing some demos today. It was amazing, right? Just I was so excited about the work. So I think it's a journey. Like you have to enjoy the journey, and the way you enjoy the journey is you make sure that you actually have things under control, right? So for example, the first thing you want to make sure you are under control is your finances. And I have a rule that I always like, even when we didn't have like a finance or accounting departments in our company, like I would have this like spreadsheet, and I would actually look at every month, like how much did we earn today, like this last month, how much did we spend last month, right? What's our revenues and what's our expenses? And I always made sure that there's a good margin between those. Like just make sure that we are never spending more than we earn. Like that seems very simple, but it can, it can go wrong very easily.
That's right.
And I mean, 2 years ago, like, I was looking at like now, like instead of looking at spreadsheet, our, finance person's actually sending me email every month. And then suddenly, like I saw that our revenues and expenses were equal, right? And
That's
so
not
that
good.
was like a warning. Like it wasn't something for that month, like specific
Yeah, yeah.
reason. So that, okay, we decided, okay, we are going to do a hiring freeze because we have been hiring too fast and our expenses were catching up. And I tried to keep that 25% margin between our expenses and our revenues. So we did a, hiring freeze for like a year. And then like we were able to, expand that gap again. And, today we are much more healthy. We are growing more slowly. We are growing because our biggest expense is people,
Of
right?
course.
And that's why we need to be careful about hiring. And we never did like a layoff or anything.
Right.
And I'm very proud of that because people who come to Jotform stay at Jotform for a long time, like
Wow.
5 years, 10 years. Like many people stay very long time. And I'm very proud of that. And I try to create an environment where people want to spend time, stay longer, and people want to come to the office in the morning and have a culture like that. So I think finance is the most important part, right? Because if you're stressed about like, what's going to happen, next month, like, am I running out of money? Then you will stop enjoying your business. And I also mentor a lot of startups. And one of the advice I have, especially if they haven't like go full time, I tell them like just don't go full time if you don't have your savings. If you're not ready, like if you're not earning, if you don't have revenues. I actually didn't do that, but I had some large savings, but I don't recommend them to go full time because it's going to be very stressful. And also, when I actually started Jotform, like started working on Jotform, I had some side products. I was earning some, so it wasn't like I wasn't like completely dry. I had some revenue streams coming from other products. Yeah, the first one is finances. The
Yes.
second one is having, like as I mentioned, like having a good environment that you want to actually work with, like having a good culture. And there's this, hustle is great, right? You want to hustle, but you don't want to hustle with your own people, right? You don't want to hustle with your own employees. Like you're kind of like a family. You're not completely a family because like you still need to perform, like people need to perform, but you want to have an environment that's healthy. People want to, come back to the office. You want to have a culture that, people enjoy working within your company. So, and the way I was able to accomplish that was because it started so slowly, right? At the end of the first year, I hired my first employee. And then the second year, I hired my second employee. Like the first 5 years, like it was like just one employee every year. Like we had like only 5 employees during the first 5 years. Because we started like so slowly, I was like friends with them. Like we would go to
Right.
lunch together, talk about Jotform together, with them. And even some of them actually left, but we still meet them and talk about those days. And we still in friendly terms and talk about those days. Because it had that like small growth, I was able to kind of create that friendly environment, work environment. And I also care about like our office spaces, making sure that we have good office spaces. Like just, it doesn't matter. Like we had like a very small office space, but I made sure it was beautiful. We today we have larger office spaces,
Right.
and they are still very beautiful. And it's you have to be proud kind of your company, enjoy coming back to work. And so that's the second thing, culture and the way you work.
I love
And
it.
yeah,
Please go ahead. Please continue.
and the third one, I kind of blanked out. I
You were
had
saying,
something.
I love
Yeah.
where you work. That love where you work. Make sure you focus on your finances, and then you're getting ready. And if we can continue on, but you're getting ready to talk about maybe a third one that was contributing to your keys to success. Yeah. So, but no, this is two is good. That's a good start right there.
I think the third one is momentum.
Mm,
I think momentum is really important. Like
yeah.
you shouldn't, the company shouldn't feel like you are stagnating. You're constantly innovating. You're constantly improving things. You have this continuous improvement, And it's very important that in every area that you kind of deal with, you make sure that you are trying new things, you use new tactics and strategies, and build some momentum. And in our case, like we are this SaaS company, so we are a product company, or we build momentum by releasing products. And like we have this newsletter, like millions of people receive it, and then one of the things people tell me, like when I meet them in person, like if they receive the newsletter, like we are so impressed that you're constantly like building new products, building new features, and every month you're announcing something new. And we accomplished that by having like multiple product teams. They're all working on different things, and then they are releasing new stuff. And this kind of builds momentum, and the people and our customers, they can see that we are constantly advancing, releasing new software, and they can see the momentum, and that actually builds trust. And within the company, like just improving everything, improving the way you work, improving benefits for employees, like just having that growth mindset and improving things. I think it's very important. And if you build momentum, it's just good things happen.
I like that. If you build momentum, good things happen.
Definitely. Like I love dashboards, right?
Yes.
And I love like putting our data in dashboards, and we have data people who are also creating these dashboards for us. And one of the things that I hate is like a straight line. Like if we are actually straight lining in one area, we need to do something new. Like we need to build that momentum back. We are losing momentum. And I think that's very important, even for small businesses. Like just keep inventing, keep building new things, and getting excited about the work. That's also good for you, right? Just getting excited about the work. And the fourth one is that I just remembered what I was
Please.
about. Was the fourth one is having keeping yourself sane as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner.
Keeping yourself sane as an entrepreneur. I love that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, keeping yourself your brain, your mind healthy. So one of the things that I do every morning is like you were talking about the routines, right? And I go to gym, and that's very important because like just feeling fresh and getting excited for the day is important. And after that, I will just sit in front of my computer and I will just open this blank screen, right? Blank screen text editor. I use this IA Writer product, but you could use any text editor. And what I like about it is like I have this large screen and it's all black, and there's this white cursor blinking, right? And that gets me excited. It's like a white paper, just writing on a empty paper is like very exciting, right? You could just write anything. So, and I just type this, what's the most important thing I can work on today? And when I sit in front of my computer, my notifications are all disabled. So I don't check my emails, I don't check the news, I don't check YouTube or social media or anything like that. I make sure that I actually spend like at least a couple of hours on whatever is the most important for me. I make sure that I spend on it. Because it's very easy to get lost in business, right? There's that book, E-Myth, right?
Yes, by Michael Gerber. I have it right here.
Yeah, that's a very important book.
Yes. But I like that. It's very easy to get lost in business. That's powerful. Go ahead.
And it's about like working on your business as opposed to in your business. Because when you work in your business, you get lost. And you definitely should be in the details, right? You should be like, for example, I prefer, like, I don't prefer to work on everything. I prefer to just focus on something just specific. Like right now, I'm just focused on Jotform AI, our new AI product. And when I'm working on that, I'm very in the details. Like I'm talking to the people who are building the product. Like we are just like discussing how to do things. It's not about micromanaging, but it's more about like, how can we make it better? Like they show me what they have been working on. I give them a review and I told them like, maybe we can do it this way. Did you check this? And then I give advice because I can view like more.
Sure.
I have a bigger viewpoint.
Yep.
And so it's important to be in the details, but it's also important that like when you open that, that white paper every morning, that you're focused on the most important thing for you. Because like if you are actually focused on the most important, if you do this for a long time, right? If you just keep this routine habit for a long time, you're gonna solve all those problems. Because what happens is that there's this matrix, Eisenhower matrix, right? It's about like importance versus urgency, right? So what happens is that we are always focused on the urgent. Like, just we receive this email from a customer, right? We have this problem with the product or customer. Like, we have to work on that.
This
They're
one
always
angry customer that's urgent. One angry customer, but not the important things. I understand.
If something is really very urgent and very important, like, you will take care of it. Like, that doesn't really happen very often. But what really happens is that you have all these urgent things that are not really that important. Like, they may be important, but they are not that really important. And you have all these important things because they are not urgent. Let's say maybe you need to improve the quality of your product, right? You know that it works, your product works, but it's not very high quality, and you still sell it, right? So, you know that one day you need to deal with that problem. But right now you have so many problems that you are dealing with, right? You have urgent problems, you leave those important things. And if you keep leaving those important things, what happens is that they keep accumulating and they keep adding up. And what happens is that, like, you are actually, and it's also like, in your minds, they're also accumulating, right? You're constantly, they're actually in the back of your mind.
That's right.
You don't forget about them, right? You have them, but they are just dragging you down. And that's one of the reasons that, entrepreneurs, like, they say, I'm tired of this. This is just so stressful, because they have all these chronic problems they haven't really solved, and they haven't dealt with these important things. And so, I think if we can just give it, like, time box it, like every morning, just, I'm going to spend this 1 hour. I'm going to ask myself, what's the most important thing? Not what's the most urgent thing, but what's the most important thing? If I'm going to spend my time with the most important thing, then over time, this just keeps adding up. And I think and you start enjoying your work more. And that I didn't discover this instantly. Like, it took me many, many years before I discovered this.
No, I think this is a masterclass and a gem. You need to have your second book. Your first book, I know, came out, all the automation. Maybe you and I will co-author a book about building a business. But Aytekin, this was wonderful. Do you have about 10 more minutes or so? I want to respect your time in case you have a hard stop.
Yeah, I have time.
I want to respect. Okay.
Sure.
I love this. Can you talk about, to shift gears a bit, 2 or 3 more questions, marketing to small businesses at a high level? And I know things are in stages. Can you walk us through the first 5 years, 10 years? What was it like for you to reach where you've done? I mean, was advertising any part of it? Google ads, Facebook ads? Did it go viral like Hotmail? Back in the day, they said free email at the bottom and people signed up. What are some of the high level triggers or pillars that you say, Ramon, here's how we've marketed to, not just small businesses, professionals and small businesses? What are some things you've done right over the years to get to where you've been?
When I started Jotform, I knew nothing about marketing. I was an individual contributor, programmer, working for a large company. And but I was lucky because I had this idea that, like, I could just, like, make it free so that, like, people can try it. Like, in the beginning, I wanted people to use it so they can give me feedback about Jotform. And that's why in the beginning, it was just completely free. And I was also lucky because it has some virality, because forms are kind of has this virality. They're not as viral as social media, but when you actually share a form with someone else, they see that, oh, this is a Jotform form. Maybe I should go, create my own Jotform. And so joining those two together, like having a free product and having some virality, actually helped us, like, growth. I think that has always been our biggest growth engine, having a free product and having some virality. So in the beginning, I decided that, like, I'm going to do PR using like a technology angle, right? How can I like just when I release Jotform? So I quit my job 2005 summer, and then 2006 February I released Jotform. And when I was thinking about like how can I like just get some attention about this, I decided that like I'm going to use the technology angle, because at that time like having like this product, like using drag and drop, like instant edit, like this form builder was something really cool as a technology. And if today, like if I was like just doing some product, I would use the AI angle. Like AI is very cool. Like everyone wants to like, try AI products, see what they can do with them. Like just very exciting. And at that time, like those like products that actually worked on browser is like very not very common. Like Gmail just came out a year before. Salesforce were recent, but they weren't like very known at that time. So it was different. So what I did was just put Jotform form builder on our homepage, right? I didn't even have like a landing page. Just put it on the homepage so they can try it. And people were actually, starting to like just mention it to others, like just because it was cool something different. And I used that angle, like I just emailed all these different technology news sites and said, okay, my product is cool. You can just use it. You don't even have to register. You can just go there and drag and drop some questions and build your own form on the fly in minutes. And that was really exciting. So in the beginning, I used some PR, even though I didn't know anything about PR.
And you did your own PR for a lot of it. You just,
Yeah.
hey, try it out.
Yeah. And but after that, like the main growth engine has been free and having some virality in it. And over the years, like because we were bootstrapped, like we didn't have like budget for advertising. I think we only recently like started using advertising, and but we cared about SEO, right? Search engine optimization. And with the search engine optimization, I think you need to think about like how can people who might use our product might find it. So in that case, like the biggest growth engine for us has been form templates. So what we did was like we were seeing like people using Jotform with different things, like right, they are doing like event registration forms or like patient intake forms, right? Okay, we decided, okay, why don't we just create these like samples so that when people are searching for, because if you need to create a form, like let's say you need to create an event registration form, maybe before you build it, like maybe you're going to search about it, right? Maybe, look at an example or try to find a product that can actually do that. And what we did was we created this directory of forms. And that also worked really well because people started searching for different like people were searching for different forms, and then they were finding us. Like we have like over 10,000 form templates today.
Wow.
And that's like one of the biggest ways people find Jotform as well. So search engine optimization is also, I think, important. And I think just you have to think about it as programmatically as opposed to like just doing like writing blog posts like individually. I think it's important as well. Like we also write a lot of content. I also write a lot of content myself as well. And I have been writing since the beginning. Like I had a blog even before I started Jotform. But it's just much more manual, like much more like it's just very time consuming to write high quality blog post. But if you think creatively, like think about how people might use your product, like think about all these different use cases, how they use their product, and think about what kind of information they need about these different use cases, and try to create like a directory, and just like the form templates. And this way you can actually scale your content efforts, and you are creating content that's valuable. It's not like spam or anything, just very valuable content. Like many people probably like they're looking for an example and they find our templates. Maybe they just create their own forms using, just manually or something. But many people also find us that way and just create an account and easily clone those form templates as well. So I think like if you are a product company, I think it's important to try to find different use cases for your product and try to kind of showcase them, like, and that way you can actually build a directory, and that will also drive people who have the intention to kind of whatever your product is solving. And that was our, like, one of the biggest growth engines for our company as well.
Yeah, and it seems like, Aytekin, that you don't, and again, we're talking to Aytekin Tank, who's the founder of Jotform. Jotform, millions of you may be using their product already to create forms for your business or your office or what have you. Two more questions, because I want to have you back again, so I want to respect your time. But it seems like one thing that you don't mind, in a way, people copying it, because it seems like, I'm just inferring, the brand Jotform is in their head. So when they're ready, they're going to come back. That's just my guess. Does that sound right? That you're like, hey, here's the templates. Maybe you don't use us. You did it manually, but as you get it more difficult, you're going to come back. That's just my thinking. Is that something in your mind?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like, if they need, like, let's say they can create their own forms, right? Maybe they are, whatever they are using,
Sure.
they are using Wix, which has its own, like,
Right.
form builder, right? So even if they're just looking for an example, like, they get some exposure to our brand. I think it's important to have a brand recognition as well. So, building traffic kind of helps you with brand recognition as well. So, and then, when they need something advanced that's not supported by Wix form builder, then maybe they will come and use Jotform.
You're in their head. So two more questions. And again, thank you so much, Aytekin, for your time. I really appreciate it. Is it fair to say, these are my words though, not yours, but especially as you're focusing on product, I'm guessing, so correct me anytime, that there's a few different levels, I don't have it in front of me, of Jotform, this month, but that you're kind of like the Netflix. As you add more products at some level, no, we're adding this tool, it's already part of your subscription, keep using it. I could be wrong, as opposed to, hey, pay an extra $3, an extra $10. What's your model? I see you nodding. Is that kind of, we're going to keep adding value, and depending on the level of subscription they have, they'll stay with us forever, maybe? Talk about that.
So we are building all these additional products in addition to Jotform, right? In addition to Form Builder. So, for example, we built this document generation product, like PDF editor, where, like, all the data you receive in your forms, you can actually turn them into, like, documents, right? They're more durable, and you can actually, design them as you want them. We have a product that can actually turn your forms into mobile apps, right? Or you can put, like, multiple forms in a mobile app. You can put other things as well. Build this, like, no-code app builder. Use that no-code app builder. Build your mobile app and give it to your customer, right? That's another example. So, like, we have an e-signature product, Jotform Sign. It's very similar to DocuSign, right? You don't need DocuSign, right? You could just, if you're a Jotform customer, it's free. Why don't you use Jotform Sign, right? So we have all these different products. And right now we are also working on this AI product. So we have all these, like, different products and features, and we are not, like, charging separately for them. So what happens is that they also have limits, and they also have very high limits, just like Jotform. And the reason is that we want people who are using the forms to also use, like, different like approvals, workflows, like e-signatures, app builder, because what happens is that they become, like, a bigger customer of Jotform, right? And that also lowers our churn, customer churn. They stay with Jotform for a longer time, and the more, let's say, their need for forms ended at some point, but now they need e-signatures, right? So we are still keeping them that way as well. And then so those products also have some, like, virality, right? E-signatures also have, like, you invite someone to sign a document, they say, oh, this is Jotform Sign. Oh, it's similar to DocuSign. So that they also create additional virality for the product. But for me, most importantly, like, I see myself as a product person. Like, I enjoy working on products. And the one thing that really makes me happy is, like, see more and more people use our products. And what happens is that if we charge separately for each product, what's going to happen is that someone who is using forms, they will say, hey, I don't need Jotform Sign. I've been using DocuSign. Why am I going to use it, right? But if it's free, they might give it a try. Like it's already free. Why don't I give it a try? That actually increases the usage. So our products are growing as their own entities as well. Like each product is also growing. And I care about the product because the more people use a product, the more feedback you get, and the
Yes.
more better it gets. Because we can invest more, we can put more people in that product, like more teams can actually work on the e-signature product because there are more people in that product. So I think there are many reasons. And in the past, like we did some trials. Like, for example, one of the most important features of Jotform is payment forms. And there are like $3 billion of payments goes through like Jotform forms every year.
Wow.
And we have like integration with like 40, 50 different payment gateways, and like PayPal, Stripe, Square, like all kinds of payment gateways, and we don't charge a fee. Like many
Wow.
of the competitors, they will actually get like 1% or something. We don't charge a fee. It's just um, and our limit there is like 10 payments per month, right?
Sure.
If you are as a free user, you can get like 10 payments per month. You don't have to pay anything. You don't even lose a percentage of your payments. That's why Jotform payments are very popular. And at some point we thought, oh, why people are earning so much over us? Like, let's just lower this limit. And we lowered our limit to 3, and just from 10 to 3. So we thought, hey, they can try the product. 3 is good enough. And in the short term, we actually saw our revenues has growing, like more people are buying Jotform paid version, right? Upgrading. It's great. So we thought that was a successful test, and then we decided, okay, we'll keep this test, like A/B test is successful. This is earning us more revenues. We don't seem to be losing people. But then a year later, we were just like looking at our dashboards, and I saw that straight line. Like our payment forms actually stopped growing. So that product kind of stopped growing, and it was straight lined because like 3 wasn't enough for people to really get value. And it's actually what happens is that like people need to get value from a free product. It's not just enough to have like this trial or like very limited product or limited features on your free product. If they can't really use your product, you don't build that trust with people. You don't build like that goodwill that in the long term turns into a growth for your product. And that was my experience. And so we increased that limit to 10. And we always make sure now, like just make sure our limits. And I think this is about what you value. Like if you value short-term revenues, sales, as opposed to like long-term like market share and growth, what happens is that you will behave in a way that's going to result in more revenues, but that's going to slow down your growth. And like many of the public companies, they have this quarter to quarter mindset, like let's just increase our sales this quarter. And that actually that's not very healthy for in the long term, because you lose so many opportunities in the long term if you're just kind of creating these bottlenecks in your product to preventing your growth. So because I have this long-term journey mindset, because I prefer growing Jotform as opposed to like just increasing revenues. I think that's much more healthy way to look at business.
I love it. Yeah. Final question, Aytekin, and I feel like I could talk to you for the next 2 hours, but you are a refreshing breath of air, a breath of fresh air. Let's talk about AI. I don't have a specific question for it. Some people are afraid of it. People like you and I are maximizing it. Definitely people can independently go and look at ChatGPT and Claude and all these things. Many companies like yourself are embedding it. I'm guessing, I don't know, but embedding it within and leveraging it. But just what's your advice? Talk to the entrepreneur, the small business owner. They just learned how to use Canva. They just learned how to use YouTube. Now they got to learn AI. What's your thought, your advice? What are you seeing about AI and business? Talk to us, whatever's on your mind.
So the product we are building is kind of turning forms, like just replacing forms. We are actually replacing our own business, like just disrupting our own business,
Wow.
replacing forms with AI, right? That's the idea. And we have been working on this for a year, and we are going to release it, in 2025. It's
Sure.
still not there. And like we have beta users, like we are building with users, like we release it to small number of users and just get feedback from them and see how they use it. And we see that people get like tremendous value because like forms are kind of dumb because like just there's a form, like it's fast, right? You can just enter the whatever you need to enter it, submit it, right? But you cannot ask it questions, right? You cannot, and they are very cold. Forms are very cold, very cold, and very boring, right? Our AI agents, like that are actually replacing forms, they actually have personalities.
Yeah.
They are having conversations and they are answering questions. They are not just taking those answers, but they're actually having conversations. And we are actually learning from all those conversations. And that's another benefit, right? We are actually seeing like where people are getting stuck, filling out a form, like how we can improve it, right? With the AI agents, they can be warmer. They can actually answer people's questions. Like they can actually, if they need, like they can even sell, right? If you instruct them to sell, they can sell. Like however you are selling, like maybe you are selling by asking questions and then like just advising them. So AI works, right?
Yes.
I've seen AI, like I'm old now, right? I've seen AI so many times, like just come out and then it was like it wasn't real.
Yes.
Just like, and I didn't actually, in the beginning I didn't get excited too much but once like you start like once I use like ChatGPT, once I saw that they can actually really give you answers and they can give you advice and
Right.
like if you can join all that advice with some like with the business logic behind it, like just not just chatting, but actually taking like actions, right?
Right. Right.
Whatever is AI is figuring out, talking to the customer, figuring out if you can turn that into actions, then you can actually replace yourself with an AI, right?
That's true.
And as a small business owner, like one of the biggest things you could do is like you replace yourself with an AI agent, with AI, right? If you can just give that job to someone, like if you need to like take appointments, right? If people can just go and take their own appointments or just ask questions and get their own answers from AI about your business, it's amazing. And what we are seeing is that people are just replacing their homepage, right? Just replacing their website with our AI agent. They're just put in there because it can answer questions, it can fill out forms, help them fill out forms or ask all those questions to the people and just be your representative on behalf of you. So it can even do a better job than like a website that's like kind of boring and static, that just talking to someone. And I think there's just like so much that can be done, and we are really excited about that. And we are going to release it in 2025, and I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned.
I love it. I will. Aytekin Tank, listen, you've been so amazing. Thank you for the time today. Anything else you wanted to add before we conclude? Anything that I didn't ask? And we will have other conversations, but anything today that you wanted to add? And if not, no problem, but anything you wanted to add?
Yeah. I have a book. I released it last year, Automate Your Busy Work. And you can actually find the first free chapter on my website, my personal website, my first name, last name.com, which is aytekintank.com. And you can go there and read the free chapter. You don't even have to like give your email or anything, just completely free, as like my philosophy, as I explained.
Yes.
And if you like it, you can get the rest of the book. But even from the first chapter, I think you will get a lot of value for, especially small businesses will get a lot of value. So I just wanted to add that.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was great talking to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. And again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com, host of The Rundown with Ramon on USA Today, talking to Aytekin Tank, founder of Jotform.